Hello everybody and welcome back to another My Porch Prints tutorials. This is Kyra and today we are going to finally be getting to the page decorating for the Naturalist Journal. I already did a flip through and a cover slash base tutorial for this journal, so check that out if you haven't seen that yet. And if you have seen it and you've been waiting for the page decorating, thank you so much for your patience. We had a bit of a crazy week this last week. Every single one of us experienced health issues of one thing or another, so I really appreciate everyone just being kind and waiting for this tutorial to come out. This is going to be part one. I ended up having a lot more footage than I even realized, so this is only half of the page decorating tutorial, but I figured I would go ahead and put that out now so you guys could get started on it and kind of be ready by the time the next one comes out. So to begin, I went ahead and cut all of my pieces out and inked all of the edges beforehand. So I basically had everything right next to me so I could just grab it and go. And I did go ahead and fussy cut a bunch of items from the Fauna add-on kit. So I'll mainly be using the Flora kit, but I will be having some pieces from the add-on for the Fauna kit as well. And as always, we will have all of the kits linked down in the description box below for you, so you can have easy access to everything that you see in today's video. So to get things started, kind of kicking off the project here, I'm going to be making this fussy cut page band. I'm just taking several little fussy cuts, some jars, some labels, and I'm layering them from the bottom up. Sort of the things at the bottom should be in the front and the things at the top should be in the back. And I'm just going to layer those up like this until they fit the length of the page. And I did set these items aside earlier to make sure I had enough. Just kind of like placed them where I thought they should go and then went ahead and glued them all together. And when it comes to decorating, I sort of just flip through my journal and find whichever page I want to work with. I'm not really like a page by page person. I sort of just flip around until I find a page that feels right, I guess. So there's not a lot of like rhyme or reason to this. You can just go in order if you want, or you can flip through your journal like I do. It doesn't really matter. So for this page band, I just added a couple pieces of puff tape to the top and bottom to give it some dimension. And that's going to give us some room for this little envelope that I have here from the Flora kit. I'm just going to tuck that in like this, along with a couple of other loose pieces. And if you don't want to waste all of your ephemera pieces trying to stuff this, tuck space full so that things don't fall out, you can take some old scraps that you might have from other kits and just kind of fold them up in various shapes, maybe tear some edges off, and that can help fill up this space so that your items don't slip out and everything kind of holds together. And it kind of makes a cute little layered effect. Alright, moving on here to this little pocket tag. We're going to be making a magnetic tag here, so I'm just going to go ahead and glue this pocket to the front of the tag, and then I'm going to grab some of these magnets, which we purchased off of Amazon. They're just these tiny, thin little magnets here, and I will try to link those down below for you. They might already be in our list of supplies on our website, so either way I will have that linked. And then I'm just going to go ahead and glue the magnets to the back of the tag using a little bit of Fabri-Tac here, nothing special, just kind of gluing those down like this. Trying to kind of get them even with one another. It's not perfect, I didn't really measure, just kind of eyeballed it. But here I am grabbing a measurer and I'm going to sort of mark off where those magnets are. And I just go ahead and mark on my metal ruler with a pencil so I don't forget. And then I'm going to go around the back of the tag and around those magnets, and I'm going to glue just a scrap piece of paper to the back of my tag like this, just cutting it out and then going around the edges with some distressing to hide those magnets. Alright, and once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and flip through my journal and try to find a couple of pages that I don't mind gluing together because they're kind of blank. So I went ahead and used these two. And it's really important when you are adding your magnets to this page that you measure where they're going to go so that they are evenly spaced so that they will line up with the magnets on your tag. So go ahead and grab some glue, and before you glue them down, you also want to make sure that the polarization of the magnets is right. So magnets have a side that will attract and a side that will repel. So if you glue them down wrong, your tag will actually repel off the page instead of sticking to it. So you want to make sure that when you magnetize, like glue your magnets down, that they will magnetize properly. So you want the magnetic side to be facing whichever side you're putting your tag on, like this. All right, so that is how the tag is going to magnetize onto the page. So now I'm going to go around these magnets and this entire page with my Fabri-Tac glue, and I'm just going to glue these two pages together front and back to hide the magnets. And if you wanted to, you could just use an ephemera piece to hide the magnets. I kind of forgot about that. Like, I don't know, I didn't really think about it until it was too late. But if you didn't want to waste like entire pages, you could just do it that way too. It's up to you. All right, so now you've got this kind of fun little secret magnetic tag here that pops on and off of your page. It's kind of just like a cool little item to have, just something different to try. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and again, just kind of flipping through the journal at my whim here, going back to the inside of the front cover, and I'm just gonna glue a pocket on here, some of these pockets that come with the kit, just kind of layering them up and then filling them with some various ephemera pieces. I did add like some eyelets and ribbon to some of the tags just to give them a little more texture here. So just taking some pieces I feel like fit right. And then I'm gonna also add a couple of dried flowers in here. You could use real dried flowers, or you could use some faux, like fussy cut flowers. Either way would look really beautiful. And then I'm taking this little envelope from the, I believe this is from the add-on kit, as well as a couple of little fussy cut items here, just filling up that envelope. And that's going to finish the first page. And now on the opposite page, I'm taking this little book cutout that comes with the kit. I'm taking a couple of those. I'm gluing one flat, and the second one I went ahead and glued some decorative paper, paper to the back. You could also just print a decorative paper on the back of these as well. Either way is fine. And then I inked the edges and folded it in half. And now I'm just going to glue the spine down, and that creates like a little 3D book. So that's kind of cute and fun addition to the page. And then I'm just going to add a couple of labels with some cheesecloth behind them and just glue those down to give the page like a little bit more decoration and make it feel a little less empty. All right, flipping to another page here, I'm going to glue down one of the pockets from the kit, and I'm going to be adding a little bookmark that comes with the kit to it, and I went ahead and tied like a little pink, like a peach colored ribbon to the top, just tied a little bow, added an eyelet here, just like this. And I'm going to be adding a charm, like a key charm, and a bulb pin to this. So I'm just going to go ahead and clip that right through the ribbon there. There you go. It's kind of a cute little bookmark with a charm. And then taking a couple more tags, I'm going to fill the rest of the pocket. And to decorate it, I'm taking one of the labels and this little fussy cut like glass vial here with some puff tape. And I'm just going to use the puff tape on these labels to add like sort of a pop-up effect to decorate the pocket. Just like that. Nice and simple. Alright, adding a couple of labels here to finish up filling out the rest of this pocket, and now we can go ahead and move to the next project, which is going to be a bookmark, or like I guess a page holder, a bookmark of sorts. So for this I'm taking some twine, and I made it just a little bit longer than my entire book by maybe about 2 inches. And then I'm grabbing some beads, which include this like little end bead here. I got these from Walmart. I think you can find similar things on Amazon. And then I'm taking some butterflies. This is from a freebie we have in our Facebook group, but we have lots of fussy cut butterflies. You can use some from the kit. It's entirely up to you which ones you want to use. And I tried to find some that are similar in size. These ones are slightly different, but it won't matter because I'm going over it with Distress ink anyway. So we're going to be using 2 butterflies to sandwich that little piece of string or twine, whatever you're using. And to do that, I just went ahead and added a lot of glue to the back of the butterflies and just glued them together like this. And then again, going over those edges with some distress ink here to help hide the fact that they are slightly different sizes. And this distress ink I'm using is Vintage Photo is the color. We will have that linked in the description box if you are interested. And now for the 3D effect, I took those same butterflies. The freebie comes with the same butterflies in a smaller size. So I'm just taking some butterflies of a smaller size and doing the same process, going over them with some distress ink and then gluing them into our first butterflies. I just folded them in half and I'm just going to glue them sort of in the center like that. And now you get this kind of cool 3D effect for your butterfly here. And you can kind of see I actually mimicked a project that my sister did earlier with her journal. Hers was flat though, which in some ways was helpful because it lays flat in the book. But if you like the 3D effect, you can try that as well. And she added a bunch of beads to the bottom of hers, which I thought was pretty, so I'm gonna do the same thing. And to do that, you just wanna measure out your string, and at the bottom of your journal is where you're going to want to tie a knot or maybe two to keep your beads from sliding around, because if they slide up, you won't be able to shut your journal as easily. So I'm just going to tie a knot here like this. And now I can go ahead and add my beads. You can do them in any order that looks nice to you. And then I tied mine off with this like larger decorative bead at the end here. It's kind of made for that. And now I have this little butterfly bookmark, and it's kind of just a cute addition to your journal. All right, so next we can go ahead and move on with some decorating here. I have this pocket, which I added a twine bow to, and I also only added glue around the sides and the bottom, leaving the top open so I can tuck things behind it as well. And I'm just gonna add an ephemera piece, decorating it with like a button and some cheesecloth here, and then I'm gonna fill up the pocket with some little ephemera pieces, just like that. And then I also added this page tab to some of these little mini pages in this journal, just to kind of give it a little bit more, I don't know, interest and detail. And now I'm moving on to this other page where I'm taking an envelope from the kit, and I just added a big piece of cheesecloth to it, just kind of gluing it down inside of here. Be careful not to glue your envelope shut. You want to be able to still fill it with ephemera pieces. And I'm just making a little label here for the front like this. And then I added a corner to the top of the envelope to kind of give it this like cute decorative effect. And I'm only adding glue again around the sides and bottom here so that I can tuck some items behind the envelope as well. So for that, I decided to use a doily here, like a paper doily. And I'm just going to add that like this. And there you go. And using a paper clip and just one more ephemera piece here because it looked a little blank to me. All right, and it's okay as you're going through your journal to like add little details that maybe like you didn't add previously. You know, you can always go ahead and redecorate things and add extra pieces and just sort of go back and decorate, sort of, you know, up to you how you want to do things. And I like to use pieces from one page to help me kind of inspire myself and decorate the other. So I have this like paper clip that's just kind of loose here, and I decided I wanted to hang something from it. So I'm taking this ephemera piece and I'm going to go ahead and add a bow to the top using some sari silk like this, just tying a little bow with an eyelet. And then I'm taking a bulb pin and I'm just going to hook that over the edge here of that paper clip just like this. I've got this cute little hanging charm in the journal. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of work with these warmer colors here and kind of stick to a bit of a color scheme with this one. So I'm taking some ephemera pieces, including these like birthstone cards. Again, that's a different kit and I will have that linked down below if you're interested. And then like I'm just adding some ephemera pieces, gluing a butterfly to the top to make like a little pull tab here. And then I'm going to glue this ephemera piece down into the corner, just adding some glue to the side and the bottom so that I can tuck some little items into there like that. And then I'm taking another one of those birthstone cards and I just added it to this scrap I had. I sort of tore the bottom, rounded off the corners, and then went over it with some distress ink. Just like this. And I'm just going to glue the whole thing down to this page. You could have made it like a tuck spot or a pocket of some kind. I'm just going to go ahead and use it decoratively. Kind of a nice splash of color on the page. And then taking some scrap ribbon I had laying on the table, I'm just going to glue it down into the corner in like a little X with a label. And there you go, that page is finished. All right, moving on to another page here. I am grabbing this little envelope and I just went ahead and glued it down flat to this page, filled it with some of those dried flowers, and that's going to kind of finish up that little piece there. And now I'm making a little like flip, like a hidden label, I guess, if you would, like a little, what would you call this? Like, I don't know, a secret flip spot. And I went ahead and just glued a butterfly to the front, sort of folding the wings so that it has that 3D effect. And then I'm adding a couple of other butterflies underneath it. And then I'm using a faux hinge here from our kit. I will have that linked down below as well, so that you can just flip it like that. And then a last minute detail, I decided to add a little skinny word tag with a bold pin to my envelope. And then for the other page, I am using this scrap from our shabby vintage Snippet kit, and we do have a tutorial on how to use that kit to make your own sort of snippet roll. And so I just tore a piece from that snippet roll off and I used it like a pocket, so I can tuck some items into there, and that's kind of a cute little decorative addition to the page. And I'm using another piece from that roll. So this is actually the roll that my sister made using some more of like the bee ephemera pieces. And I just tore a piece off of that, and I'm going to be adding this little note paper to the back and cutting around it so it kind of gives a little more decoration to the back of this piece, a little bit of writing space, and then went over it with some distress ink like this. And it naturally had this little tab on it. You could add your own tab if you wanted to. This was just part of how it, when I tore it off of the roll, it had this little piece here that I could kind of use like a little hinge, just like this. So I'm just kind of folding it front and back to make it swing freely. And then I'm taking this part from that note I just cut. I didn't want to throw it out. I thought it might be kind of cute to use at the top here. So I'm just gluing that down like this. And then I'm going to add some glue to that hinge so that now this opens and closes. All right, now to this next page, I'm just adding a paperclip and a couple of ephemera pieces. And then I'm taking this piece, which was an earlier project. It's a paperclip pocket. I do have a tutorial on that. I will link that down below. But sometimes it's nice to use those pieces that we make in old tutorials in newer journals. And I just added that paperclip on, and then I'm covering it up with some fussy cuts that I layered here to make a little tuck spot like this. Add a little ephemera piece in there, a little B tab on it, just like that. And then I'm going to glue this label onto my paperclip just like so. All right. And then taking a little ribbon here too, because it just seemed a little bit blank still on that side. All right, now coming back to this piece here, I decided to add a little bit of newer decoration to it to kind of, I don't know, zhuzh it up for this new journal to make it fit better with this theme. So I just added a couple of extra pieces to it to make it kind of feel a little bit more cohesive with the journal that I'm making. All right, and then flipping to another page, I'm taking some of these pieces from the add-on kit, and we're gonna make a little sort of like a mini journal in here that kind of opens up. So I'm taking these covers and I'm gonna overlap them and sort of see how they fit on the page. And once I like where they are, I have these little tabs that I went ahead and folded before gluing them down. So that way the pages will fold back like this. All right, so going ahead and doing the same thing with the other cover, folding those tabs and then gluing it to the page. And for the little clasp here, I'm cutting some ribbon pieces so that they fit across the journal cover and overlap just slightly. Like this, right in the center. You can take any ribbon you want. This is just one that I had on hand. And I'm adding some Velcro dots to these so that they will stick together. Again, we will have those linked down below. I found that the Velcro dots kept coming off of my ribbon, so I ended up adding some glue and gluing them down to the ribbon to help them stick a little better. Not sure if it's maybe the texture of the ribbon. And then I'm going to cover that up with a label from the kit like this. And then while that's drying, we can go ahead and decorate inside for a little bit. So I took one of the note cards, added a faux sort of clip to the top from the faux hardware kit, and then added some corners to it as well. And now I'm just going to go ahead and glue in a couple of ephemera pieces to the inside pages here, including a pocket, a little bit of decoration, just so that there's something kind of interesting inside of our little journal here. And I'm also adding a little butterfly tuck spot, so I'm adding some glue just to the bottom of this butterfly here, not to the top, and then add that to the corner so I can tuck a couple of little tags in there like this. Alright, so that is going to finish up the first half of our journal decorating. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the second half. Alright, bye!